Hey guys, Happy New Year. I apologise that this video is slightly late. I have had a load of PhD interviews for the past week, and I've got some next week as well. So I've been super bogged down with those. But I'm going to do a video about them in third week and about my whole application process. So look out for that. But this week I thought I would talk a bit about last term and reflections of how it went for me now that it's over. So I started term ready for my final year, quite excited to be doing some more advanced topics, some more advanced modules, and super eager to get started. But actually, I don't think I had a very good term. In fact, I think it was actually one of the worst terms I've had in Oxford. And there were a number of reasons for that. And the overarching problem that I found was that I overburdened myself with things to do. Term is obviously stressful anyway, with just your degree. And obviously, I had quite a bit of work, and it was obviously quite advanced work compared to what I had the year before. But I found that on its own, it was okay. But then you added the other things that I was doing on top of that, and very quickly it became too much for me to cope with, really. And as a result, I think I was pretty miserable last term. Obviously, there are so many things you do whilst you're here that aren't related to your degree, and that's such an excellent opportunity for broadening your horizons. There are so many societies, so many things in college that you can get involved with, and student life really is very active here. And if you want to do something, chances are you can do it with other people at this university. It's a great experience and a great opportunity to have whilst you're at this age. I think it's a common personality trait of people at Oxford and people who like to perform highly and do well in what they do to get involved and to enjoy that and to enjoy the responsibility that comes with getting involved with many different things. So I think it's probably a common feeling that people have of getting quite overwhelmed because they burden themselves with too much. And it feels like a silly thing to say because it's obviously a very self-induced problem of doing too much and the stress of that. But nonetheless, I think it is an issue, and if you don't manage your time effectively, it can really have a negative influence on your experience and your time here, and it just makes everything not enjoyable anymore, and you stop enjoying things that you previously absolutely loved doing, and it all becomes a bit of a chore. And that's just not a position you want to be in at all, really. I found it got bad, obviously, the further through term we got, as I started to get more further behind on my work. So I had the stress of that on top of all the other commitments that I had to fulfill. And it just got to the point where I hated getting up in the morning and knowing that I was still here, still in Oxford. I just wanted to get away. I would just lie there and be like, I just can't wait for term to end. I can't wait for my time here at Oxford to end, which is not a very nice place to be in because this place is really great. I really love it. But to suddenly have that change so that you're hating your university experience isn't something I'd wish upon anybody, really. But I think it's too common an experience. I found it quite difficult as welfare rep, somebody that everybody relied on to talk about their own problems. And then when it came to having my own problems, I found it quite difficult to reach out to anybody and express how deeply unhappy I was. As much as I love being welfare rep, I think there's a degree of trying to take away people's negative feelings and negative emotions and placing them on yourself, if that makes sense at all. And I think I did that a lot, and there were people coming to me and talking about the problems they were having, the mental health issues they were having, and it's great that they felt that they could talk to me, and I hope that I helped them in some capacity. But at the same time, their problems I try to take on myself, and that becomes a very big weight, and you feel a huge amount of responsibility, and you feel like you owe something to these people, which is great normally, but it's not great when you're trying to deal with problems similar to what they're feeling at the same time. But the Christmas holidays were the first time that I've probably been home for an extended period of time since last Christmas, and I really appreciated the chance to just sleep and rest and not have deadlines and responsibilities. And it was an excellent way to recover and recuperate after such a stressful long term. And it was then that I made myself that I was doing too much. I needed to cut back and focus on what was important. And that's exactly what I've done. It's all about time management, I think. And you need to have a really good time management skills to be able to do the things that you want to do in any institution, I guess, not just at Oxford. And last term, I completely misjudged it. But I've accepted that now. I know where I went wrong. And this term so far has been a lot better. Something that Ellie mentioned in one of her other videos was about self-care. And it's something that I always sort of push on people here, but then never take my own advice. But it is excellent advice. If you want to enjoy your time, if you want to do well, and if you want to really take away a positive feeling from your university experience, looking after yourself is so important. And I really hope this doesn't come across as a big moan about last term, because that's not what that's not the intention. The message I'm trying to put across really is that Oxford is so fantastic in the sense that there's so many opportunities for you here, whether it's related to your subject-specific field or in your extracurricular life. You can just try almost anything. But you need to do it in a sort of moderated and time-managed way so that you can get the best out of it. And if you don't do that, then you will end up feeling very miserable because you just overstretch yourself, which is not a good thing to do in any circumstance. Yeah, so I think that's everything I wanted to put across in this video, I think, off the top of my head. But yeah, I'll see you in a few weeks.